Sri L. Gopal Krishnan, Managing Trustee, PSG, College of Arts and Science. Thiru G.R. Karthikeyan, Founder Trustee. Dr. B. Brinda, Principal of the College. Dr. K. Tamil Selvan, Controller of Examination. Distinguished faculties, invitee guests, my dear young graduates and their proud parents. Anaivarkum Vanakkam. At the very outset, I pay my tribute to the founder of this institution, the PSG group of institutions, which they created even before this college came into being in 1947, almost a quarter century before. These founders, they created an educational institution. I think many times we forget the background. I'm not very sure how sensitive even the current founders are. The background in which these people dreamt of and created this institution. It was in the aftermath of First World War. British were very comfortable. There was no threat to their empire in India. And at the time, the challenge before our national leaders at various levels was to create educated and alert Indians who could carry on the spirit of national freedom over a long period of time. After the First World War, the Second World War was not anywhere in the sight. And so the leaders of national freedom movement, they knew that this movement was going to be a long drawn movement. And for a long drawn movement to sustain, it was very important to create educated Indians, educated with Indian values. It was in this backdrop that people with nationalist intentions and aspirations in different parts of the country, they created educational institutions to produce educated Indians, educated not only in knowledge, the knowledge that was available at that point of time, but also with the national values and a spirit of nationalism. A number of institutions over the country were created. And it was in that background that these four brothers, they got together and they decided to part with their 1/4 of their assets to create the educational institution. We must salute to their dedication to the national cause. This institution has produced a large number of educated Indians. They are shining in different walks of life at different places, not only within the country, but even across the world. And all these people, those who have managed to keep the intellectual integrity, academic integrity, and commitment to the national values all these years, over 3/4 of a century, they deserve applaud, they deserve congratulations. On this happy occasion, I congratulate all the young graduates. This is a special day in your life. The degree that you have achieved today is a testimony of your determination, your hard work. It hasn't come easily. It's also a validation of trust that your family, your parents had in you. By succeeding, by successfully completing this, your course, you have also kept the trust of your parents. This is a special occasion or a day even for them. You all have graduated from this prestigious institution, and you must be proud of it. Today, in fact, when I was distributing the degree, I was pleasantly overwhelmed by the explosion of women power, the number of women graduates across the discipline and even among the rank holders. This is so delightful. This is new India. Friends, you are all fortunate. Fortunate not only to be graduating from this prestigious institution, but also the fact that you are at a historic moment in our nation's history. Today, the opportunities before you are numerous. Gone are the days when people holding degrees used to just look for jobs. Today, you are witness to, and you are going to be a contributor to, the rise of a new India. A new India which is confident, which is capable, and which is compassionate. Today, our country is not looked upon as one of the third world countries. Today, the world looks at India with expectations. Our country today, you all know that it is the fastest growing large economy in the world. When the entire world post-COVID is in a recession-like situation, ours is the fastest growing economy, and the world looks at India as a potential engine of global recovery, global economic recovery. Today, India is the fastest growing startup ecosystem in the world. Till about 2014, in our country we didn't have even 500 startups. Today, we have crossed 90,000. These 90,000 startups are being created by young men and women like you. They are doing incredible things. sending rockets, creating launch vehicles and sending rockets in the sky, measuring the depth of the ocean. They are doing things which were unimaginable few years back. Today, India is emerging as the largest manufacturing hub. We are already the second in many aspects. We are second in manufacturing mobile phones. We are also emerging as second soon as in automobiles, in many sectors. Today, our country is emerging with pride. The world looks at our country with a sense of relief and expectations. Now, I would explain what is this sense of relief. Why the world looks at rise of India with a sense of relief. History bears witness to the fact that whenever a country has risen, it has created anxiety, concern in the rest of the world. When European countries started rising, Britain, France, Portuguese, Dutch, they colonized the world. They colonized the world, exploited the colonies, and inflicted the worst kind of oppression on those colonies. India has been a victim of that. So rise of Europe was a matter of concern for the rest of the world. When United States of America and Soviet Russia rose, both these countries, powerful countries, in pursuit of their ideology, political ideology, they inflicted worst kind of disaster on the mankind. Millions of people perished across the world. One in pursuit of so-called democracy, another in pursuit of communism. Very recently, when China started rising, initially there were expectations, but soon these expectations were belied. Because when the China began rising and started giving money to the developing countries in need of money, they invariably place those countries into debt trap and force them to share their sovereignty. Example is our neighbor Sri Lanka. In the name of economic development of the developing countries, China pumped their capital in a way that was not the priority of those countries. Illustration, they built a Hambantota port at the cost of $1 billion US, telling the Sri Lankans that this port is close to the east-west lane of sea lane of communication, and the ships crisscrossing across would be coming over there for servicing, and dollars will rain. They built this port, but no ship came. And when Sri Lanka was not able to repay what Chinese did, they forced them to part with this territory on a long-term lease as if it is a Chinese territory today. Not only that, they got additional large chunk of land. Chinese told them, we need to sustain this, so we need to set up some ancillary industries. You give us more land. This is one example how Chinese gave loan to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka was compelled to share their sovereignty. When India gave over $5 billion assistance to Sri Lanka, these money went, of which 0.6 billion, 600 million was grant. These money went in building schools, hospitals, colleges, roads, which was needed for the people of Sri Lanka. Building houses for the homeless. and creating capital assets useful to the country and the countrymen and women. When China began rising, the South China Sea, it is a global common. It's a sea open to international community. And there are a number of littoral states, so many countries, with exclusive economic zone rights over that. But when China began rising, there were so many rocks and reefs in the South China Sea that reclaimed the land, built platforms, and placed their military assets, fighter bombers and other military assets, and claimed the South China Sea as if it was a Chinese lake, denying the exclusive economic rights of the littoral states. China rise has been hegemonistic, now the world has come to know. So whenever countries have risen, it has created anxiety in the minds of countries across the world. Contrast it with rise of India. When India began rising, when COVID has struck, the whole world affected by it. No one knew the way out. People were looking for some magical way out, some vaccine, some medicine. When the rich countries, they developed their vaccine, soon they started playing vaccine nationalism, raising the prices of vaccines. Thanks to our scientists, India produced vaccines in a record time. And not only that we produced, we shared our vaccine free of cost with the people across 150 countries in the world. This is new India. The world got the pleasant embrace and taste of it. We all know that the world is facing a number of crises, climate crisis. It is staring at the world, existential in nature. Mother Earth is heating up. Glaciers are melting. Solar ice caps are receding. Rivers are drying up. Forests shrinking. Land, the surface of the earth, due to overexploitation, due to chemical fertilizers and pesticide, is becoming fallow. Mother Earth is in distress. And off and on, we are all witness to and sufferer to also of the fury of the nature. Unprecedented flood. The areas which were supposed to be cold areas, they have started facing heat waves. Unknown. In this scenario, India is the country showing the way with a bold move to move away to renewable energy. When 2015, Prime Minister of India gave a call for solar energy because we have sun god, plenty of inexhaustible energy. Can we tap it? Why do we have to look for? Countries across the world were skeptical. In 2016, when India formed the International Solar Alliance, there were not many countries who were takers. Today, more than 120 countries are members, and many countries are looking forward in the queue to join this alliance. India is moving with bold decision, moving away from hydrocarbon energy, fossil energy, showing the way. Even in the global war, let us see Ukraine-Russia war. The whole world is divided. It is this country, India, which is not neutral. India took a firm position, absolute repudiation of war as a means for conflict resolution. War is not acceptable as a means to resolve a difference. With absolute repudiation of war as a means of resolving conflict and being away from both the camps. Now the world looks upon India with a hope that perhaps this country may be able to influence the two parts of the globe to come together and reduce the tension. India demonstrated it. When the war began, we had over 10,000 of our Indian citizens trapped in Ukraine. We had to evacuate them. And when we told both the countries, stop the war, we have to evacuate our people. Both the sides listened. They gave us a window, stop the war. We evacuated each and every Indian from Ukraine. Both sides respected. In the international order, which was created in the aftermath of Second World War by the victor nations, powerful nations at that point of time, they created a world order, which is highly iniquitous, unjust. Today, 2/3 of the humanity, which is commonly nowadays called Global South, which is voiceless, which is looking upon India to be their voice. India is the leader of the Global South. Today, the world looks at our country with hope and expectation and with a sense of relief. This is an India which is not going to cause any stress or distress or any threat to any other country. That is why today when we are holding the presidency of G20, our motto is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The tagline is one earth, one family, one future. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is not a creation of this government. This is there in our ancient books. Ancient books. Ayam nijah paroveti ganana laghu chetasam udar charita nam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is mine, this is yours, these are short thinking, small-hearted thought. For the large-hearted, the world is a family. It is rooted in our Sanatana Adhyatma. Mamatma Sarvabhutatma. My soul is the soul of all the beings. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya. Let every being be happy, let every being be free of diseases. Not only me or my family, the whole world. This is India. This Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is inscribed at the entrance of the Central Hall of Parliament. This is our virashat, this is our heritage, this is our sanskar. And when India is holding the presidency of G20, and you know what G20 is. G20 is a group of these countries, all powerful countries in the world. 85% of the global GDP is with these 20 countries. And when India is being the president of this, it is a matter of pride for us. It is a matter of pride for us, and at the same time, it is also an opportunity for us to show the way into the future, a safer and sustainable future. And this, we are doing it in our ways. Unlike previous events, whenever international responsibility used to come, those were the responsibilities of the Ministry of External Affairs. It is no longer today. Today, like everything, all the programs of the government of India, even G20 presidency is a mass movement. Jan Andolan, Jan Bhagidari. That is why G20 events, more than 215 events are being hosted at all the parts of the country. Even in Tamil Nadu, some events even in Coimbatore. Over 100,000 delegates from all this country will be visiting, and will have an opportunity to see this country. We must avail ourselves of this opportunity to give them a feeling how new India is, how the energy, the creativity of new India is expressing itself, how our women power is showing up in different walks of life, how our entrepreneurs are doing incredible things. And along with that, Atiti Devo Bhava is our sanskar. When the visitor comes, when the delegates come, they don't just attend the meeting. They also go around the places to see, places which are of tourist importance, tourist interest, or maybe our heritage. It is a responsibility of all of us to present ourselves in a way that they go back happily with a smile, with a memory of a rising India. When the world has an expectations from India, it is our duty to also to give them the confidence that India is capable of carrying on the meeting the trust and carrying on the expectations, fulfilling the expectations. This is an opportunity. Now, what happened in last few years? When we say that the world outlook on India had changed fundamentally from a third world country at the margin of international affairs to the center stage when the whole world looks at India with expectations to find the solutions to the global problem. Be it in the science and technology, we are among the top. Be in finding a solution to the global crisis, we are showing the way. We are walking the talk, we are not just talking. When we move to this renewable energy, away from the fossil, we are walking the talk with determination. What happened in the last few years? What is the magic? The magic is the change in the way we look at our country. We have a national leadership. We have a prime minister who looks at this country as a family, as a kutumbam, as a Bharat. You know, when the British came, they, for their administrative convenience, they created a lot of regions. And for ensuring that their empire is enduring, they planted seeds of division, differences. When the national freedom movement started picking momentum, they created people within the country, including here in Tamil Nadu, who became collaborator of the British. And they started working against the national freedom movement. They started looking at regions, each one as separate. And even after the British left, we continued looking at our country in the terms of different geographies, different regions, in terms of differences. As a result, all our initiatives were such that they didn't have a comprehensive solution. They had the people, different regions, different states, people, depending on how smart they were started getting the resources. Even after 7 decades of the British having left, we continued to be a country with the largest number of hungry, sick, poor, homeless people. Why? Because earlier approach to looking at the country was geographic. It was a geography. And when you look at a geography just as a territory, there is no sentiment. There is nothing emotional about it. When you look at this country as a family, as a Bharat, Article 1 of the Indian Constitution says, India, that is Bharat. India is introduced as Bharat. I urge you all young graduates to think over it. What is Bharat? In our Constitution, India has been introduced as Bharat. Some people say that this India was born in 1947. It is their ignorance. Some people here in our state, holding high positions, from public platforms they keep saying British rule was a blessing in disguise. One wonders what kind of mindset it is. When you look at this country as a Bharat, which was creation of centuries, thousands of years ago, it is a civilizational and cultural evolution created by our rishis, created by our sages, created by our poets. From Kanyakumari to Kamrup in Assam, to Kashmir, Kutch to Kohima, we see that. All that you need to do is just be open mind, look at the way people conduct their life, and you see the common current, the cultural and civilizational connect among the people across the country. That is our strength. And when you look at this country as a family, would you ever think that if I have 10 members in my family, I will take care of the health of 2 or 3 and ignore this rest? You cannot. You have to be conscious and concerned about health of everyone, well-being of everyone. And that is why today all our schemes launched by the Prime Minister, the visionary and dynamic Prime Minister, is touching the lives of everyone. Building in the record short time, less than a decade, 7 to 8 years, we have become open defecation free. 110 million homes got toilet. 30 million homeless got homes. Cooking gas, access to that. Our rural women, our mothers, they had to suffer a lot because of burning coal, burning wood, access to cooking gas, access to electricity, access to potable drinking water. These are basic necessities. But we couldn't provide in the last over 7 decades because the way we looked at this country was the way the British looked at this country. We didn't look at this country as one kutumbam, as one family. And this is the difference. And the second is earlier way of governance. Earlier way of governance was a patronage. Government is my bop. People, everything and each and everything people used to look upon government for, okay, government should do this, government should do this or that. Not realizing that power lies in our people. If from no less than 500 startup, if today we are more than 90,000 because of young men and women like you, because we started trusting the creative energy of our people, our youth. And they have started delivering incredible results. Trust in our people. Limit the government. Government to create atmosphere conducive for unleashing the creative energy of our citizens, of our young people. And they will deliver the country. If today India is the 5th largest economy in the world, it is not because of government, it is because of our people. We are poised to be the 3rd largest economy in the next 5 to 6 years. Before 2030, we will be the 3rd largest economy. And by 2047, we will be the largest economy in the world. We have no doubt about it. Even the world has no doubt about it. The world is looking at India with that hope that India, there's a confident India. It will become the largest economy in the world. And they are taking comfort in the fact that when India rises, the world is happy, the world is peaceful. All this is happening because our people's energy. It's not government. Now, government-centric approach to governance, government-centric approach to the country and the people, that kept us in chains, that kept the creative energy of our people suppressed, unharnessed. Today, they are all unleashing their energy and creating things. These are the fundamental changes, transformational in nature, the way we look at our country and the way we look at our countrymen and women. For us, our number is a dividend, is a gift. It wasn't earlier the number of the population of India was looked upon as a liability. Today we look at it as our asset. And our asset is delivering the result. Our success in the world today is because of our people, their energy. We have entered into the Amrit Kal. You all know that. You know what is Amrit Kal? Amrit Kal is a concept taken from our our Indian system of time and Indian system of knowledge. Amrit Kal, in the yogic, in the darshan, philosophy, is a period when a beginning is made, it brings you the best result. Today we are in the Amrit Kal. And in the next 25 years, our target is to make this country as the most developed country in the world, to be the Vishwaguru in every sense. 360-degree development of this country, not leaving any part behind. Because in the earlier model, which was a Darwinian model, there were regional differences. Some region developed, some region not developed. Some region rich, some region poor. And even the region that developed, there were a lot of intra-regional, sub-regional variations, imbalances. Even in our own state, Tamil Nadu, there's a difference between north and south. There's a difference between east and west. Some areas more developed, some areas less developed. In our state, we have people that we have hunger. There are people who are hungry today. They are the children who are not going to school because they cannot have meal in the houses. We have poverty within our country, within our state. This regional imbalance is why. When we have food surplus, why our people should go hungry? It is because those areas from where the people were smart, they get the money, they developed. The areas which were not, people were less smart, they were not able to get. It's a pure and simple Darwinian model of development. If you can get it, you have it. If you miss it, you lose it. No, we cannot look at our country as with such a perspective, with a Darwinian perspective. Here, everyone is important. Everyone is a member of this family. This paradigm shift, this new outlook, this new approach is what bringing out the result. Today, when we are marching towards our destiny of a fully developed country, the most developed in the world, all of you, our young graduates, you are the carriers. We are all fortunate to be a witness to this historic opportunity and moment in our national life. We are also fortunate to be a contributor to it. In our own respective way, we must contribute to the best of our ability. In this Amrit Kal, the PhD, this institution, it itself must set the target. It has been doing yeoman service. They are excellent. I was listening to the principal talking about the awards and laurels which this institution has got. Music to ears. And I must compliment the principal and the faculties for achieving this. But now I would urge the top management to rethink what more we can do in the next 25 years. How we can contribute towards the national goal in the next 25 years. And there are many ways you can do it. You have to find the ways. You have adopted the National Education Policy 2020. This is a revolutionary, transformational education policy. It is a policy to create citizens for future world. Indians who are capable of taking on the challenges of the world today and tomorrow. It is revolutionary indeed. Now, how to operationalize it? There are many areas where your ingenuity will work. It is not etched in a stone that this is how it has to be done. The broad parameters and principles are laid down. You have to find how to operationalize it, putting your native genius, your ingenuity. How to operationalize smartly and as speedily as possible the National Education Policy 2020, so that our children, our graduates, when they come out in the world, they come out with a confidence to take on the world, not with a degree in the hand to look for a job. You are doing a lot of good researches, but perhaps there can be more stress, greater stress on innovation, enterprise, patents. Create new things, dream big. Institution must rise. It is rising, it has risen, it has got a certain rank is not enough. For achiever, sky is the limit. As our professor, my younger days I remember, he used to tell me, Ravi, there is always vacancy at the top. You grow, but there is always a space on the top you can grow beyond. Grow. Dream that large. PSG must set the target. And for the next 25 years, in this Amrit Kal, how this institution will contribute. The institution which has its roots in the national freedom movement. Now it has a responsibility. It has been fulfilling the responsibility of nation building, but now it has a special responsibility that in the Amrit Kal, how to achieve that target. That is for the institution. And for the young graduates, you are the future of our country. I was so happy to meet each and every graduate, full of energy. No one was looking tired or looking down. Everyone was effusive. That was something, energy was palpable. Display. So keep that energy. Come out. Now you are stepping out into the world. Do something new. Dream big. Don't dream small. If you dream small, you are bound to be small. And if you have potential to be big, and if you stop, if you remain stunted, it is your loss. It is a loss of your family. It is a loss to the country. You must grow to your optimum, your capacity, your potential. And so, you must dream large, especially you are graduates of this institution. You must not dream small, dream large. And put your entire effort, hard work to fulfill the dream. Nothing is beyond you, believe me. You are from a much fortunate background today than I am, than I was. Today, if you put your hard work, nothing is beyond you. And if you get the setbacks, let not your setback defeat you or dampen your spirit. We have all failed. I have failed multiple times. Failure is not something which is unavoidable. No one's journey in life is a continuous journey of success. Continuous success, no one gets it. The one who has reached the top meeting several failures. I have met several failures. The only difference is I didn't allow my failure to defeat me. You don't allow your failure to defeat you. Learn from it. It is an enriching you, giving a strength to you. You challenge yourself. As you challenge the muscles of your body, the muscles get stronger. You challenge yourself, rise high. And you will rise high, I have no doubt about it. As I can see my country rising in 2047, all of you would be at the helm of affairs, holding responsible positions wherever you would be. And then you will be asking a question to yourself, and with satisfaction you should be able to answer, what was my contribution in bringing the country where the country has reached today? My friends, I wish you a very, very bright, successful future. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking speech to the young graduates present. Pleasant occasions make cherished memories. Our 35th graduation day is one such occasion. We now invite Dr. M. Jayanti, Vice Principal, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all present here. It's a great honor and privilege for us to hear the thoughts of our Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, His Excellency. Your words of wisdom have enlightened our minds who are moving ahead